It shouldn't come as any surprise that among the top 100 most played cards in the Commander format, Sol Ring and Cyclonic Rift dominate the list. Cards like these are featured in thousands of deck lists and are very powerful, but today I want to shift focus away from the more popular cards and instead look at some underrated gems. To me, an underrated card should be useful in a variety of decks. I've tried to avoid highlighting cards that are only good for one or two specific commanders. Every single card on this list shows up in less than 5,000 deck lists online. Some of your underrated favorites might not have made this list, so be sure to leave them in the comments and help your fellow deck builders out. So without further ado, these are my 10 most underrated cards in EDH. White and blue boast some of the best pillow fort cards in the game, with Ghostly Prison and Propaganda being some of the most popular. Koskin Falls and Mudslide are the black and red Ghostly Prisons. You don't see tax effects like these very often in black or red. Neither of these cards are very well known, so the odds are good that you'll be able to catch your playgroup by surprise and save yourself some combat damage at the same time. If you're caught in the crosshairs of a creature-heavy, aggressive meta, Koskin Falls and Mudslide will definitely help keep a lot of those creatures off your back. Black has its fair share of card draw spells, with Night's Whisper, Sign in Blood, and Read the Bones being some of the most well-known. One source of card draw that is often overlooked is Painful Truths. This spell has the unique ability to potentially draw you 3 cards instead of just 2. 35 cents for a 3-mana draw 3 card spell is a pretty good deal. There are a lot of 3-color and up commanders out there who are looking for extra card draw, and Painful Truths is perfect for them. Top deck manipulation is huge in Commander. Having the ability to see into the future and influence what you're going to draw is very powerful. But for those of you who aren't playing blue or can't afford the high price tag of a Sensei's Divining Top, Crystal Ball is here to help. Give the Crystal Ball a little rub, and for only 1 mana you can scry the top 2 cards of your library. Factor in that it's only 25 cents and you have yourself a winner. Crystal Ball and Sensei's Divining Top are 2 very different cards, but they do have a similar purpose, which is to make the absolute most out of every card you draw. Commit is a very unique and often overlooked blue instant speed spell. Commit might not have the low casting cost of some of the more powerful counterspells out there, but it can deal with big-time threatening creatures and uncounterable spells in a way that no simple counterspell ever could. Commit isn't the only spell this $1.49 card packs. There's also a second side, Memory. Memory is a replica of Time Reversal, a card that acts as a fantastic wheel effect and graveyard hate all in one. Fantastic spot removal and an even better wheel effect all in one card sounds like a great deal to me. Green is full of powerful and flexible creature tutor spells. Taking a creature directly out of your deck and putting it on top of your library, into your hand, or onto the battlefield is a great way to get ahead in a game. Signal the Clans is an often overlooked creature tutor spell. Unlike most tutors, with Signal the Clans, you search out 3 creatures, then get one of those randomly into your hand. If your deck has a lot of large creatures with similar abilities, or smaller creatures that can help you tutor for even better threats, then Signal the Clans is a great add. I understand for a lot of people the red randomness of this spell is off-putting, but I wouldn't let that stop you from testing out a card like Signal the Clans. Sure, it's not Worldly Tutor or Eladamri's call, but it is 35 cents of creature tutor awesomeness. When you think of the most powerful counterspells in the Commander format, Force of Will instantly comes to mind. But with a current price tag of right around $80, this spell is out of the price range for a lot of Commander players out there. So allow me to introduce you to Foil, all the free counterspell goodness in a $1.49 package. Foil works best in mono or 2-color blue decks where you're more likely to have an extra island or 2 floating around. You can splash Foil in 3 or more colored decks, but you'll want to make sure that you have plenty of lands with an island subtype, that way you can cast it for free. Commander is filled with excellent artifact removal, and it makes sense why. In a format that features Mana Vault, Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, Signets, and Talismans, you have to have some sort of answer for these kind of threats. Seeds of Innocence is an artifact board wipe that needs to be more widely used by Commander players. 3 mana to annihilate every artifact on the board is amazing. A low mana cost combined with brutal efficiency makes Seeds of Innocence one of the best artifact board wipes in the game, and it's a shame that it's only represented in a little over 200 decks. Monastery Siege gives us 2 choices, Khans or Dragons, and no matter which one you choose, you're getting a great deal. Khans gives you a free loot effect at the beginning of your draw step, which at worst is cutting a bad card from your hand, and at best makes for some crazy plays out of your graveyard. Dragons gives you a Mana Leak-esque tax effect that forces your opponents to pay 2 extra mana anytime they want to target one of your permanents with a spell. It's always in your best interest to protect your board state and make your opponent's jobs a lot harder if they want to get rid of any of your permanents. The best part about Monastery Siege is that it gives us options. No matter which stage of the game you get this card in, it's going to give you something positive, and that to me makes it a highly underrated and underplayed card. Sometimes I think Commander players are too scared of losing a little life, and Dark Tutelage is the perfect example of this. Drawing an extra card at the beginning of each of your upkeeps is fantastic, and a casting cost of only 1 black and 2 colorless means this spell fits well even in multicolored decks. Dark Tutelage has the same exact ability as Dark Confidant, one of the best card draw and tempo creatures in the entire format. One is 35 cents, the other $65. In my opinion, Dark Tutelage is criminally underplayed. In a lot of ways, it is eerily similar to Phyrexian Arena. Sure, the life loss is potentially a little higher, but if you build your deck with a low overall CMC, it won't be that much of an issue. Is it Necropotence? No, Necropotence is downright ridiculous, but it is very good and should be in a lot more decks. Green has its fair share of graveyard recursion spells, and Noxious Revival is definitely one of the best. What separates Noxious Revival from its recursion peers is the ability to cast it for only 2 life at instant speed and not only target things in your graveyard, but things in other people's graveyards as well. For only 2 life, you can deal with any obnoxious reanimator target, or take out any instant or sorcery speed spell your opponents are trying to flash back with their Snapcaster Mage. Free to cast, instant speed, graveyard hate, and recursion all in one small package makes Noxious Revival one of the most underrated spells in all of Commander. This spell definitely needs to be in more green decks out there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you enjoyed my top 10 list of the most underrated cards in Commander. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button and let me know in the comments below what are some underrated cards you enjoy playing with. And as always, you stay classy, deck builders. I'll see you next time.